Old girl was defiled while in police custody, even as she was being held in protective custody. We bring you the latest emanating from Tigoni, Kiambu County on this unfortunate turn of events, even as Kenyans and leaders alike came together to celebrate the life of the late Jane Mombi Kiano. And of course, this being a Friday, get ready to usher in your weekend in style.
That's right, Jesse. It's about to be lit. We have the only team in the world, the only Maasai cricket warriors and ladies team here with us on Friday Briefing. Of course, they not only play the cricket game, they do it with a cause, and we'll be telling you about that shortly.
Well, of course, that is something to look forward to, definitely, even as we prepare to have the best of the Queen's language. We're talking about Willis, the one master, who will be giving us the best of the Queen's English, as he does best in Mind Your Language. Totally looking forward to it, Willis. I'm sure you also are.
I'm looking forward to the same and, very ready for it. And, for tonight, Jesse and Ashley, in fact, if somebody were to flash such a paper before our viewers, and I know many people would find it easier or easy to pronounce the lower word, that is section. But if the upper word is difficult, let them just wait for it during our favorite segment. Otherwise, back to you.
Well, of course, so much more lined up for you. But first things first, let's take a look at some of the stories we're highlighting for you tonight.
The challenge is, if the system is broken, where will people go for help, and especially children?
Outrage as a 14-year-old girl is defiled inside a male police cell in Tigoni while under protection.
Jane, to me, was my mother. But I could also, in many ways, refer to her as my sister. But most importantly, I could also refer to her as my friend.
Top leaders President Kenyatta and Raila Odinga attend memorial service for the late Jane Kiano.
The Kenyan government structure should be restructured.
Building Bridges Initiative starts public hearings in Nairobi, with SUPKEM giving its submissions Friday.
Plus, residents of Butere in Kakamega protest rising incidents of crime as they blame 42 Brothers gang. Once again, it's a pleasure to have you with us here on Friday Briefing. I am Ashley Mazuri. Our sign language interpreter is Maresha Owiti.
I'm Jesse Rogers. Welcome to the broadcast. Now, the police service has once again been put on the spot of an incident in which a 14-year-old girl was defiled inside Tigoni police cell in Kiambu County.
The girl, an orphan, was allegedly abused inside a male cell where she was being given police protection.
And to make matters worse, the juvenile is now suspected to be pregnant.
And as our crime and investigative reporter Hussein Mohamed now reports, the girl has now been taken to a children's facility as the matter is being probed.
Around the country, Class 8 pupils are winding up their final exams, a delightful experience for all candidates as they prepare to transition to secondary schools. But in the cold Limuru Plains, a 14-year-old Class 8 pupil is experiencing sheer terror. She's nursing wounds following a 2-week defilement ordeal she allegedly went through at the Tigoni police station, where she was being held in protective custody. She alleges in a statement she recorded on October 3, 2018, that she was defiled by her fellow remandee. The girl says she was locked in a cell with male remandees, with one of them allegedly committing the terrible acts on her. She says she screamed inside the cell, but no one paid attention. KTN News has since confirmed that there are 3 cells in Tigoni police station, and as to why a girl was put together with male remandees remains a puzzle.
It is disturbing and it is heartbreaking, because we get these stories almost every other day. And the challenge is, if the system is broken, where will people go for help, and especially children?
On a daily night routine, the National Police Service has an orderly officer who is an inspector, a duty officer who is a police corporal, one crime standby, a police constable, and 2 cell sentry and the report officer duty who are stationed in the police. Their work is to occasionally check on the remandees. An officer commanding a station is supposed to do a routine check and log in to the OCPD.
At the moment, sina msichana kama huyo wakati unless nikienda kwa records ni find out, but wajua issue kama hiyo ikitokea kiripoti kwetu uchunguzi ufanywa.
Were the daily routines made or were the girls' screams ignored? KTN News has since established that there was no crime incident report filed. The girl had no guardians and hence was taken as a child in need of protection. She was not in the police station as a criminal, but as a ward of the state. After alerting officers, the girl was taken to Girigiti Girls Center and later rushed to Kiambu Hospital. An OB report seen by KTN News shows that the girl suffered for 13 days with no treatment. The OB number in question is dated 11th, 16th October at 0830 hours. Until today, the investigating officer is yet to take any action, with the local OCPD, Eunice Gidore, denying knowing the presence of the 14-year-old girl in the remand.
Hey, who are your sources?
We have sources at the Tigoni police.
I don't have that information.
You do not?
I do not have such information.
Or even just as an adult. All these things I need to go through to access justice.
Cases of defilement in police cells have been documented, and most of the child enforcement officers now say there is need for accountability.
For example, we have the anti-stock theft. That means if your cow is stolen, there is a police trained to recover that cow. There's a unit within the system. So why can't we have a specific unit within the system that then specifically investigates issues to do with sexual gender-based violence?
For the 14-year-old Class 8 pupil, what happened to her will stain her conscience for years to come. Will justice be her shield and defender, or will the country's loyalty be to the people or to the bottom line? Hussein Mohamed, KTN News, Nairobi.
President Uhuru Kenyatta has now vowed to spearhead the Trailblazers agenda launched in August this year that seeks to honor outstanding women in the society.
Uhuru spoke during the memorial service of the late Jane Mombi Kiano, who succumbed to cancer on the night of Thursday last week before being cremated at Karioko Crematorium on Saturday, according to her wish.
Our reporter Cecilia Wakesho attended the service that was attended by, among other dignitaries, Deputy President William Ruto and former Prime Minister Raila Odinga.
At SEK St. Francis Church in Karen, the elegance of the late Jane Mombi Kiano would remind friends and relatives who gathered at her memorial service of dedicated woman who selflessly advanced the rights of women. President Uhuru Kenyatta will lead other political figures to eulogize a widow to the former cabinet minister, Dr. Julius Gikonyo Kiano. She succumbed to cancer on Thursday night last week before her body was cremated at Kariako Crematorium on Saturday.
I still really miss you and don't feel like you left us forever.
Shall I read for you? However, you're still in our hearts.
Friends from all walks of life who were brought together by this service took their time to eulogize the 74-year-old who at the age of 25 served as Maendeleo ya Wanawake chairperson between 1971 to 1984. She was also among the founders of the National Commission and Integration Commission, formed after the 2007-2008 post-election violence to foster peace.
She built the biggest ever women organization in Kenya. At the heart of the city of Nairobi is the imposing Maendeleo ya Wanawake House. And she leaves behind many women leaders that she mentored and inspired.
Simple background. Gikonyo Kiano, a son of a peasant. Jane, a son of a chief. You cannot say this is a Kenyatta dynasty. That's because of that Uhuru is a part of a dynasty. Odinga, son of Raila. He's just another pauper. You could say he's a hustler. You cannot say therefore that Raila is a product of a dynasty. Raila is just Raila the way he is. Uhuru is Uhuru because of himself.
She fought the fight for women, not because of glory, not because of wealth, but because it was the right thing to do.
Kenyatta will then challenge Kenyans to practice rewarding those who do good in the society.
We need to celebrate them when they're alive. We need to show them that we appreciate what they have done. And I promise you that as we've started now with our Trailblazer program, we will push it and enhance it and make a day where Kenyans remember the women that we have produced and who have gone on to make a difference in Kenya.
Cecilia Kesho, KTN News.
A trailblazer in every right. Moving on, the Building Bridges Initiative Task Force today held its first ever consultative forum seeking to gather opinions from various stakeholders within the country in the effort towards achieving its mandate as directed by President Uhuru Kenyatta following the much talked about handshake between him and Raila Odinga earlier this year.
The task force, in its first public sitting, sought views from various institutional stakeholders comprising of both religious and private sector key players. Timothy Otieno with that report.
Nearly 6 months after President Uhuru Kenyatta gazetted a 14-man team to spearhead crucial discussions meant to enhance the country's cohesion and peaceful progress, and the task force, chaired by Garissa Senator Yusuf Haj, began consolidating views with the team today, exclusively seeking opinions from institutional organs. With a near 10-man delegation, the Supreme Council of Kenya Muslims were first in line in their submissions, urging for a complete overhaul of the country's political system.
SUPKEM prescription is that efforts should be made to reduce the attractiveness of political office and transform them into public service.
Other submissions from faith-based groups like the Hindu Council of Kenya, the Evangelical Alliance of Kenya, the Kenya Private Sector Alliance, and Center for Multi-Party Democracy, among others, also advocated for the reorganization of the country's financial service sector, where they say major loopholes are being exploited by the political class to steal from public coffers.
Their presentation had three main concerns. One of them is the issue of ethos. Understandably, as a religious group, that is one of the areas of their concentration. And they feel that our chapter on leadership and integrity is weak, it's been watered down, it does not bite.
The task force, whose mandate expires in a year, is expected to issue President Uhuru Kenyatta with a comprehensive report on 7 key issues bedeviling the country, which are believed to often precipitate political turmoil at the end of every general election.
This is a Kenyan process. We are going to listen to Kenyans, and whatever Kenyans tell us, that's what our report shall be based on. And if Kenyans want it to be a meaningful process, as I believe they do, they'll be telling us as we go around the country, and everybody, including the media, is part of this process in helping build a strong nation.
But today's hearings comes after weeks of failed attempts to kickstart the process after the team last month postponed a visit to Lower Eastern region, awaiting disbursement of crucial funds meant to drive the public participation exercise. That visit to the counties of Machakos, Kitui and Makueni is now scheduled for next week, where the forum will be open to the general public. Timothy Otieno, KTN News.
To Kakamega County, where tensions remain high in Butere following an incident in which police allegedly shot and killed a man as they pursued members of a gang of robbers better known in the area as the 42 Brothers.
Now, residents held demonstrations against the killing as they called for the immediate arrest and prosecution of the police who fired the bullet.
They also lamented the increasing cases of insecurity in the area and now want authorities to take action.
These were the scenes in Butere early Friday. Angry residents braved the early morning call to hold demos to protest the murder of a mechanic allegedly shot dead by police officers who were pursuing a member of a gang popularly known as 42 Brothers. Eyewitnesses say it was a case of mistaken identity after a police officer who was among those in hot pursuit of the gang shot the victim as he fixed a client's car at a garage on Monday evening.
The security situation in Butere is wanting, and we are asking for the internal security minister, Fred Matiangi, to come in.
Led by Butere Member of Parliament Tindi Mwale, residents also lamented the increasing cases of insecurity in the area. They pointed out the resurgence of a gang popularly known as 42 Brothers that has for months now rained terror on the villages, leaving a trail of death and pain in its wake. Whenever it strikes, the gang, whose members are aged between 15 and 25, leaves behind a common trend: bodies with tongues, genitals and eyes ripped out.
Only 5 days